Hey y'all, how's it going? All right, so happy Tuesday. Today I'm coming to you to bring a health coach PSA in reference to the video that I posted in the YouTube community chat. It was an Abraham Hicks video talking about trying not to push through your manifestation process, and they touched on a lot of topics, but the one that I wanted to specifically discuss was when they were talking about pushing through procrastination. And one of the things that they mentioned was how not to push through procrastination when you're feeling unmotivated, because going into a metaphysical manifestation standpoint, spiritually speaking, however you want to label it, when you are trying to push through procrastination, you're just trying to do something just to get it out the way. You're not divinely inspired, and it's best to do things when you are divinely inspired, because you'll have creativity, you'll have the zest to do it, and it'll be less errors, and your work would be a lot better, in opposed to you just trying to throw something together. Because the effort that you put into something when you are inspired and you're like, yes, let's go, I'm ready for it, let's take it on, compared to like, let me just go and get this out the way. Like even just explaining it, like, let me just get this out the way, it just sounds like you just like the meal that you prepare when you are cooking. Like, just think about the type of meal that you prepare when you are excited to cook and you are ready and you're like, yes, I got this new recipe, I'm going to do this and that, I got these spices, like I'm ready, let's go. Think about the meal that tastes, how that meal tastes, compared to the meal you prepare and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't really feel like doing this, let me just go and throw something in the kitchen together, like, let me just get it out the way. Like, your results will be a lot different, which is why in that video they're talking about do not just try to push through procrastination and wait till you're divinely inspired. Now, I totally get that, and it's totally valid coming from a spiritual, metaphysical standpoint. But there is a hack you can do, and it's all about using the emotional guidance scale. And I know I talked about this in a couple of PSAs ago about going through that emotional guidance scale of emotions to build yourself up to be motivated to do those things that you don't want to do, to be inspired. Because I know that happened to me a couple times, like even just making PSAs, sometimes I'm not inspired, and so instead of just trying to push through and just trying to just get some content out, just to like, okay, let me just go and throw something out. Like, the messages that come out when I am divinely inspired are completely different than the messages that come out when I'm just trying to get something out. And so this is why it goes back to the emotional guidance scale, because you can pinpoint that emotion. It's like, okay, well, why don't I feel like doing this? And then once you pinpoint, okay, so I'm procrastinating, I don't feel like doing this, I'm tired, this and that, boom, boom, boom. Then you're like, okay, what do I need to do? Or what emotions do I need to evoke? So if you're trying to go from uninspired to inspired, maybe there are certain things you need to do. Maybe you need to go read some information, go study some text if it's like a project. Maybe even if it's like a work project, maybe you need to just take your mind off of something, off of your project completely, and just let your oh my gosh, I forgot the part of your brain, but anywho, there's a part of your brain that will work on problems while you are doing something else. And subconsciously, your brain is working, I want to say it's your reticular activating system. I don't know, I'll put it down here, specifically what part of the brain it is. But anywho, there is a part of the brain, I want to say reticular activating system, But if you step away from a problem that you haven't solved, that part of your brain will work on it and it will come up with the answer for you, or it will lead you, or your intuition will lead you to the answer that you're looking for. So you know how sometimes you're out and about, or you're like washing dishes, or you're watching TV, or you're talking to somebody, and they say something, and then it's like, oh. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, yo, that was just the missing link that I needed to solve this problem, or that's exactly what I needed that helps me with this work issue that I'm working on. So even just stepping away from the problem for a little bit can help you become motivated to do those things that you don't want to do. And you also have to take a good look at why you're procrastinating and really figure out, like, okay, am I procrastinating because I'm a perfectionist and I want to make sure that I get it right? Because honestly, sometimes you won't get it right until you get started. And you won't really realize, like, okay, what all do I need to do to get it right until you get started? So sometimes the procrastination will end once you actually get started, because I know this has happened for me a lot of times. There are things that I want to procrastinate just because I feel like it's going to be a really difficult task. But once I break the task down into little bits and I just get started, I become so immersed in it that I don't want to stop until it's finished. So that's another little tip about overcoming procrastination. But yeah, there's a lot of other ways that you can tap into to overcome procrastination and to allow yourself to become inspired to do those things that you need to do. So it will not only be good work that you produce and you'll be proud of, because I know a lot of times people procrastinate simply because they are afraid of, oh my gosh, what if it's not good? What if it's not going to be right? So let me just wait till I get in the mood. And sometimes you'll never get in the mood because you will get in the habit so much of procrastinating that you avoid it as a defense mechanism. So it never gets started. And that's where the 5-second rule comes in. And I know I mentioned this in a previous PSA where I was talking about the 5-second rule, where you just give yourself 5 seconds before, when you get that intuitive nudge to do something, and before you talk yourself out of it, you just start taking action towards it. And so a lot of times procrastination comes simply because subconsciously we are afraid of our greatness. We are afraid of starting tasks that we haven't started, or new tasks, or anything like that. It can be anything, like just confronting somebody about a comment that they made, or confronting a spouse about some uneasy feelings that you feel in the relationship, or even just confronting your boss about workplace struggles. Sometimes you procrastinate on those things. So that's all I have. I hope this helps. If you need help with overcoming procrastination, keep in mind my Stress Alchemy course has a resource toolkit that has a plethora, or a bunch of tools and tips to help guide you through self-sabotaging habits such as procrastination. And I also have coaching to help guide you through the Stress Alchemy course, because everybody needs accountability sometimes, and so that's why I offer coaching. Getting over chronic stress and anxiety is sometimes harder. Well, it's not sometimes, it's usually harder than what we expect. And so sometimes we may tell ourselves, like, oh no, it's fine, I can get to it. Oh no, I'm just going to tackle it. I just have to wait for the time. And even when you say that, that's a form of procrastination. Now that I mention it. But yeah, so there are links in the description box about my Stress Alchemy course, as well as coaching that goes along with it. And I hope this helps, and I will talk to you later.